Hi guys, happy Monday. So, alright. Yeah, I did a video before and now I'm doing a new one because people are bitching about my audio not being high enough. Well, get different speakers because everybody else can hear me. So, tunnels for the ghost wind. And I thought this was pretty interesting stuff. So, alright, now we've reached a turning point. So, I've spent a good deal of time discussing the subtle science of the soul and the senses. So, tragic misuses of the sacred technology of writing, which caused a real shift in our minds, bodies, and cultures from the past, and focus on a basic and powerful trance technique. More powerful, I think, than any you'll find anywhere. So I talked about the Witch Master, his holy wind, and his servitors. I then talked about the strange spontaneity and deep mystery that is the nature of not just sorcery, but of the soul and of nature itself. That is profound right there. So, lastly, he says, I have discussed not just a working taken from the earth and sky of the Grand Grimoire, but the perilous and disturbing reality of transference, an important topic for any sorcerer to consider. So we've come a long way, but now things change from this peak. High in the windy sky, a sorceress knight in sight, we must plunge to the great finish of this treatise. So, he says, I'm going to stop being quiet, so open-handed about these matters, and now leave it up to you to tie the strands of these invisible winds together. So in the next sections leading to our conclusion, he says I'm going to present further keys to sorcery, the sorcery of the soul and wind, but in an abbreviated form, which I trust that you will have no trouble accessing to their fullest extent. So if you can apply all he has said so far. So what I am about to say will complete the previously granted understanding of the sorcery of breath and wind, culminating in the Wraith Prayer, the formula, he says, learned by me from the seen and unseen, which can apply to all I've said here, and to any sorcery anywhere, and to bring it to full fruition. This is very interesting, very, very important information here. I am very blurry. Or it's just my eyes. I think it's just my eyes. There, maybe that's not my eyes. I don't know. Alright, so where'd I go? Okay, so the Wraith Prayer is not just a formula for flying, though it can be used for that. So it is also a formula for spirit contact, for touching the soul, and for talking in the soundless language, the language of spirits. It is the last and most important secret that I have gained from the years of life, of this life cult life, it should have said, and this strange world. The understanding of the Wraith work and all that I have said here, all these uses of the soul and wind, is to the true dividing line between what I recognize as witchery and sorcery, and all other things, but sometimes pass for witchery and sorcery today. Okay. So it says here, I must begin right where we are now, in the soul, mind, and body. So any study of the soul, mind, and body of human beings is an anthropology, and so what follows are necessarily notes on sorcerous anthropology. But any study of the soul, mind, and body of humans becomes a study of the soul, mind, and body of everything else, like the land itself, because everything is intensified in everything else. So start walking or flying in a human mind or body, and you will find yourself in a tree or a root, or in a mountain, or in the sky somewhere. So all is in all. Everything is in all. So an oft repeated and always true sorceress fact from time immemorial. So the land has tunnels in it, caves, fissures, openings, holes, which lead to the underworld and into the reaches of the unseen. So your body does too. Tunnels in the land, tunnels in the body. This is a fact and a perspective that you hear little these days, and probably for good reason. So people who are half aware of the power natural tunnels and openings in the land always seek them out rightly to get access to the underworld, But if they suspect or knew that their own bodies were entrances to the underworld, they might find themselves dangerously close, all the time, to that mighty and mysterious realm. That's very interesting. Alright, so he says here, when I say that your body has tunnels, I mean also that your souls have tunnels. But during life, the body and the soul, the red dragon and the white dragon, the red serpent and the white, are mixed together. Every time you breathe, they mingle, and you can feel this happen. Because of this mixture, the entwining of serpents, the tunnels, which are actually points of force in the soul, meet the body at certain predictable areas. So at least if you are a human being. And these tunnels are direct entrances to the unseen world, more powerful and immediate, it seems, than a natural tunnel in a forest somewhere under a tree. But never build too much of a division in your head. The land's body has tunnels, and so does your body, because we are one with the land. I love that. That is amazing. I gotta have a cigarette now because that was so incredible. It really was. I love it. I love that. This is what traditional witchcraft is all about. The land, our bodies, being in tune with nature, what we did yesterday, what we talked about yesterday. I have found it harder for me to articulate how I want to get my point across about my path. So I've had to resort to these pages, which is not necessarily bad. I just like to, yeah, whatever. Anyways, here we go. Alright, so, and just like the winds of the world blow in and out of the tunnels, in the mountains and land, your own soul, your own wind, blows in and out of your tunnels all the time. So these sorceress openings found through your body are points at which your soul travels in and out. So, and the points at which spiritual beings can enter you and communicate with you, or enter you for fair or foul purposes. So also we shall see these points are points at which your soul communicates with the souls of others, rhetorically and secretly. So these, there are points that you can learn to sense, explore, and use to fly in and out of yourself. So that's just, astral projection. The witch's flying ointment, astral projection. Well, an astral. A form of, a concoction that makes you astral project. Pretty much hallucinate. So, spiritual damage, blockages, hindrances, and intrusions in your body and soul lodge themselves in these tunnels. They do it to other people's souls and bodies too. So knowing what he says I'm about to say will help you in countless ways to help yourself and others, or hurt them, because knowing these things will make you capable of both. No healer isn't a potential agent of harm, and no person who can bless is ever without the capability of cursing. So, more sorceress ambivalence and more soul searching for all. So that I find that really, really interesting. Really interesting. So this is going to be really good for a lot of people that are going through a lot of blockages right now, trying to get rid of them. For certain clients, I'm doing block busting for you. I'm continuing the block busting. So this will help with your individual growth within your own path. So, alright, so there are many tunnels, but certain points on the body correspond with the major ones. So one you should know about. Two of the most important are found through what you call your head, the skull hole, and the forehead door. The skull hole at the top of your skull is the tunnel that your soul mainly uses to leave and re-enter your body. Anytime it does it, and many perpetually at times leave the body by the mouth or chest. But that's a seeming at birth. It chiefly came in through that opening up there. The opening as well, as we will see, of a chimney or central channel that runs vertically through the soul body. So contact with the unseen happens a lot in the skull hole, and treasures are hidden in it, as with all these tunnels. So in this case, the treasure of your connection with the rest of your reality or nature itself. So that's pretty interesting. I like that. I like that concept. So, alright, now connected with the skull hole are the mysteries of life and death, of birth and death. For when your final breath exists in that corpse, it leaves by the chimney hole at the skull roof, just like it came in. So while you're sleeping, the skull hole is one way that your soul slips out quietly while you're dreaming. So, though it can leave through other tunnels, it will leave it if it leaves at all, for not all dreams are found outside your body. Most, as we will see, are found in the tunnels within you during sleep. But the image of the witch flying up a chimney on her broom or flying pole to achieve her aerial liberation and go among the unseen powers is full of much meaning and potency, particularly when you begin making these connections. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. So, the forehead tunnel has made its famous mark throughout history, appearing as the legendary location of the third eye. Though most people place it a bit high on the forehead, it's actually closer to between the eyebrows of your face. So centered in this real vortex of power is a person's entire capacity, not just for healthy ordinary perceptions and general sense use, the sense of sight especially, but for extraordinary sight, soul sight as it were. So you might call it wind seeing or other sight, but it isn't something radically apart from the senses as we ordinarily experience them. It is an intensification of the senses. So, such that is all seen, as we discussed in detail earlier in this work. A person with hindrances in their soul located near this area also suffers from headaches and eye malfunctions. But more than that, they lack the capacity to see in the extraordinary sense, which is what most people do, not engage the senses properly. So this is going to explain a little bit of spiritual blockages and all that good stuff. Other major tunnels in the body are the throat, cleft cave, the heart tunnel, the sun tunnel, the blood string hole, and the serpent hole. So the throat cleft cave, found right where you expect, is the region of the soul body that corresponds with communication. Both the ordinary types of verbal communication, singing, talking, whispering, and the extraordinary kinds, such as hearing or speaking with the inner ears and voice, the spirit language that we will discuss soon, and what is called channeling or psychicism these days. I like channeling better. I don't like psychicism. So it is also the well spring of creativity in a person. Unexpressed emotions, particularly anger, colludes this tunnel. That is quite interesting. Alright. Okay, so the heart tunnel, which acts as a bridge in the body between the higher and lower tunnels, is the center of the human capacity for affinity, which oneself, others, and the world as a whole, and the home of all refined emotions like love for another. So it is the home of intimacy and affection, and it is occulted by grief primarily. So those who sob while crying are expelling forces from this tunnel. That's why it feels so good afterwards. So those who, with low self-esteem or intimacy issues, are very likely dealing with an intrusion or blockage at this soul region. So the harmony can feel between self and world, self and other, and self and one's own body and soul. It's a gift of this tunnel's ghostly presence when it radiates itself healthier. Yeah, that's very hard to say. So we have the sun tunnel. It's found somewhere near the solar plexus region on the body, and it governs the use of power by the body. So the allocation of power to the body and soul, and to assertion of power. So those who have this region colluded by various means are often tired, listless, and withdrawn. So those who are in power here command others easily, control and command audiences, lead people, and assert their presence and will on others. A lot of projection going on right there. A lot of projection. So, where did I go? Okay, the blood string hole, also called the moon tunnel or the hair tunnel, is somewhere about 2 inches below the navel. Raw emotions emanate from it, anchored by the body-soul mixture, the wild power of sexuality and reproduction, the capacity for fertility and sexual attraction. Sexual traumas from the past occlude this tunnel, most often than not. but like the serpent hole below it, its condition judges the basic overall health of the body. Those who can use their winds, as we will discuss, to flood this tunnel can command sexual attraction over others. So, the serpent hole, about an inch above the anal opening, is the deepest tunnel in the body, and its opening, it opens facing the earth. So it is the storehouse point of the greatest power in the body, soul. It is great power, or lack thereof. So is the chief of the occult determinant of the health of the body overall, and any challenge to your bodily survival is met by the power of it. Fears are therefore attached to this tunnel. Those often paralyzed by fear, worry, or uncertainty are being dominated by this aspect of their body, soul, by some occlusion. So through this tunnel, the only true grounding technique that can ever work can be performed. The red serpent on the land and body contacts the body soul here chiefly. So yeah, that kind of gives you some insight into why people do certain things, why people act a certain way, why we have blockages, why we have intimacy issues, why we have, difficulty learning, speaking. So, very, very interesting. So, he says here, I give these very basic and general notes about the bodily tunnels because they will be useful to you once you study the next body of lore I give here, and which I will give now. The use of the breath and winds for an ancient bodily and soul purification. Later, I will discuss simple but powerful bits of sorcery that utilize the tunnels. But first things first, remember, all these strands of wind build on one another. It will be up to you to tie them together, however you will. So as this treatise continues, and as you know and experience more, my descriptions become less lengthy and full. Soon, generalized formulas will really be given, because working with the senses and soul directly, you don't need much more than that. So the unseen regions of your mind and body will fill in the details. So don't worry that this won't happen. Let the symbols and colors and imagery given lead you. And trust in the power of these things, as they have great antiquity. So, okay, I'm going to leave off for there today, because we have a lot. Yeah, this is a very long one. So we will go on to the 9 breaths of purification tomorrow, which I think is very incredible. This is going to tell everybody how to open themselves up, how to actually, get rid of these blockages, and how to help you, how to help yourself. So, very shamanistic. So, somebody remind me tomorrow where I was at. I'll have to write it down. So, what are you guys planning for the new year? Anything fun? Anything exciting? Anything at all? No? Me either. Except for setting some very positive intentions for the new year. So, with that being said, I love you all very much, and I hope you guys enjoy. And I mean, this segment and yesterday's, these are the most important things to me, like, in my heart. So it's really something that's amazing. So, alright guys, I hope you guys have a great day. I hope you guys have a great new year. I hope it brings just all kinds of blessings and love and just everything good for you guys. So, but I love you all very, very much. All the way from Venus. I'm waiting to be taken up. Oh, all the way back down. There we go. I love you guys so much. And I will see you guys tomorrow. And thank you guys for watching.